will change you, will change your perception, or actually will change your thinking. So we welcome you on this broadcast. Be with us throughout. Don't move away. So, Bishop, I want to start with you. Like we've been here. You remember the other time when we were talking about state of the nation, there are some factors that we highlighted, and I just want to revisit them very, very quick before we change gears to another topic. If you are looking at our country today, the number of things that are happening, the corruption here, corruption there, everywhere. What's wrong?
Right. I'm glad that you're asking what is wrong. Could as well ask what is right. What is wrong in this country is that things have gone wrong long time ago.
Mm.
Now, because there's an effort to correct what has gone wrong, and this is the morals of our people, that we have gone so low morally that our people do not think when they are doing deals in the wrong way. They don't have a guilty consciousness. They are the state and the rich a stage where when you are doing the wrong things, you feel very comfortable. You no longer have the fear of doing evil to your motherland. So patriotism had gone down. Kenyans are no longer patriotic when it comes to taking care of the welfare of each other. So that is what had gone wrong. Now the reason why we think we are more corrupt today than ever is because corruption issues are now being enlightened for the very first time without fear or favor. And because of the way they are being enlightened now, because of the freedom of expression that has been given by our constitution, and because of the right to information that has been already enacted, then we have more information coming about the evils that used to be done under cover. Now they can no longer be covered because they can now be spoken about. In the past, it was unheard for a cabinet secretary to arise like Matiang the way he did. He rises and he says, the sugar that you have here is bad. It has naturally led. That was unheard of in the days of old. But now you can say that. If he had said that before, in the previous governments, he could have been shown the door. But now he can say that, and he continues being the cabinet secretary. So this is the freedom that Kenyans have been looking for. So what has gone wrong is that Kenyans are now ready to correct that which is evil, and we are fighting it head on. And this is one of my very, very exciting things that I can now see for the first time some people being aligned in court to explain what has gone wrong. For the first time, we had a president say, candidly, everybody should carry his own cross. Very, very encouraging. The only thing is, every Kenyan should now begin to behave and to change. We cannot change the state of the nation in terms of 4 or 5 people changing and being put in. No, all of us, we need to change. We need to change the way we do business. We need to change the way we listen with each other. We need to change the way we distribute opportunities. We need to change the way we actually do our politics. We need to change the way we look at each other through the eyes of tribalism. We need to say no to ethnicity, so that you can look at things the way they are. If you are qualified and competent, be given the job. If you are not qualified and not competent, please wait. And that is where we want to be. So what has gone wrong is those morals that have been drained over time, and we have made the people who are corrupt to look like the heroes, and the people who are straightforward to look like the villain. Now these have to change. We cannot continue telling our children, can you grow and become as rich and so and so, without telling him or her how that person became that rich. So this is the time we need to come together and say, please, let us make wealth, create wealth, but do it in a way that is acceptable, in a legal way, in a way that God can bless, in a way that other people can also bless, if we are all talking globally about sustainable development. And a sustainable development cannot be realized in a scenario where some people are using shortcuts and are flouting the laws. They are actually doing it the wrong way. We must do business the right way. We must have the rule of law back in operation.
So still asking what is wrong, Bishop, I want to get your thoughts really quick. What's your opinion in this?
Thank you very much, viewers. As you've heard, we are the voice of the church. Let me say, church is the generational voice of God in every generation. So, what is wrong, brother?
Yes.
And dear viewers and Kenyans, and all those who are watching? There is no fear of God. There is no fear of His word. There is no fear and obedience of the Constitution that was promulgated 2010. And also there is no fear of men of God how they speak. I'm not here to say that church is not speaking. Church is speaking, but people are not obeying. That means all the discord. We are here to say the truth, and the truth is bitter. Once a leader, prime minister in Britain, Winston Churchill said, "You cannot cover a lie with a liar." Kenyans need to know the truth, that corruption is real. Kenyans need to know the truth, that corruption is against the will of God. Kenyans need to know the truth, that corruption is an enemy to any sustainable development. It's an enemy to any humanity. Everywhere, anywhere, anytime. Yes.
Possibly one of the things that I want to emphasize is that Kenyans seem to be in a hurry to become billionaires.
Yes.
The NYS saga, the sugar saga, these are all done in an effort to becoming a wealthy man. You see, there is a right way of acquiring wealth. In fact, the Bible says wealth gathered through, unscrupulous methods develops wings and it flies away.
Yes.
But those who gather it little by little, it grows.
Yes, it's true.
So we need to begin to grow wealth little by little, step by step. But this business of becoming a billionaire overnight is terrible. And that is why I support the live audit that was proposed by the president, His Excellency.
Yes.
That we need a live audit so that we may know how you move from a pauper overnight to a billionaire within a year. It doesn't work. So when we begin to do that, we are going to be in a different world. But I want to give Kenyans some hope. What is happening in Kenya is very healthy. It's an adjustment of what has gone wrong so that we can be corrected. And when you are doing corrections, there is somebody must feel the pain. So it is very painful what you're going through. But after we have gone through this, then we'll have a country that is corruption free. That is the country of my dream. A corruption free country will create employment. A corruption free country will demolish inequalities that are in very high proportions. A corruption free country will have fair and free elections. And it is very important for us to do these things now and do it quickly before 2022. 2022, we don't want an election that is bungled. We want an election that is free, fair, to the letter. Why? Because we cannot afford to go backwards. We want to go forward. So even our young people, they should now begin to think creatively on what they can do for their own livelihood and what they can do for their motherland. Instead of thinking of whom can take me where, the days of godfathers are numbered. We don't need godfathers. We need efficiency. We need competency. We need skills. Godfathers, please, they are no longer fathering anyone.
Yes. So just what your thoughts. Bishop,
Yes.
let me quote Mheshimiwa hapa when he said, most Kenyans want to become rich overnight. Where did we go wrong? Is it lust for money? What is it? Where did we go wrong?
As I said, people don't obey the constitution. A constitution that we have now does not allow corruption at any. And I said, people don't obey the word of God. The scripture says, obey the laws of the land. And also the scripture says, obey the word of God, which is the scripture. So, people are not obeying the word of God. Scripture says, as he has said in Solomon, that I, Solomon, I became wealth, I gathered wealth, because I saved little by little. Let me answer, tell you that, and go back to you. That people want to be millionaires overnight. They don't think of time and space and nothing.
And the reason why they want to be a billionaire overnight is that those who are wealthy in this country have been so much highlighted and so much glorified,
Yes,
that anybody would like to reach to their level. We are almost adoring wealth. And you see, this is where we have gone wrong, where we have only reduced all our values into only one thing: money. Life is not just composed of money. Life is composed of a lot of other things. The way we relate with you is wealth. The way I use that wealth to reach out to my countrymen is very important. What I do with what I have is much more important than even what I have. What you do with what you have. You see, there are four things. There is poverty mentality. Poverty mentality says we are born poor, we are poor, and therefore everybody else looks at us as we are nobodies. That's a poverty mentality. It kills the initiative to work hard and create wealth. That is bad. There is prosperity mentality. The prosperity mentality says everything in this world is mine, and I have to get it at whatever cost, and I have to get it now because I want to be prosperous. That is also wrong. There is a third one that is called the stewardship mentality. Under the stewardship mentality, we realize that the world belongs to God, and God has given it to man that we may use it and preserve it for the benefit of the current generation and the generations to come. This is where the sustainable development goes, aim at. So that even if you are harvesting sand harvesting for construction, you must know there is another activity that must accompany sand harvesting, so that you don't create dry rivers and therefore destroy the environment. Even if you are doing what you are burning charcoal, you cannot just burn trees that have been growing for 100 years and you burn them overnight and expect there to be any more vegetation. The forage coverage in Kenya is around 2%, very low. It should be 10%. So we must now begin to do things in a sustainable manner, and that will only come when all of us realize the wealth, the world, and its fullness belongs to God. We are only stewards, and therefore, as stewards, we must be good stewards of what God has given us. Even with the money that I have in my account, I'm not a steward of that money. It will keep on circulating. Today is with me, tomorrow will be with somebody else. So please let us realize that we are stewards, and we don't have a lot of time. We have only 70 years to live. And those who are go beyond that, they have a special bonus.
So what are the notice?
We are watching you very soon. That's us special brothers. We're very tangible. We can get to a share. Yes, Bishop.
Me, I look at this way. What has gone wrong? Truly, there's something wrong.
Yes.
As he said in the previous program, he said it is very cheap to make a mistake and very expensive to correct a mistake. There is something connected with what is wrong with power. There are 5 types of power. So when I say power, people want to get power in the wrong way. People, when they get that power, they misuse it. That's why things are wrong. There are about 5 types, as I said, of power. Financial or material power. People want to use the wrong principles, the wrong ways and rules to get financial material power. That's one source. Another power is political or royal power. People want to get it through the wrong way and misuse it. People, there is a military or martial power. People want to get that power and misuse it. But in Kenya, there is no problem with the military or martial power. But the problem is material and financial power. That's why corruption is. People also are using political or royal power. People are using that. Then there is this of spiritual power. That one we have to say the truth. All different power.
Yeah.
There's a problem there. Somebody wants to be a politician. Somebody wants to climb to get that power. He comes to this man of God. He says, I need his lay hands upon me. I prophesy to him. I release him. Another one comes. Here there's a confusion. Please, sons of God who are entrusted to release this power to people. Blessings means releasing divine power through spoken words. Blessings also means a power to prosper. So what I'm saying is that there's a problem there. And I'm telling that because that's my area. Another source of power is satanic or demonic power. Please, even all those people have said, Kenyans, I can testify because it's something many people may not believe. Witchcraft is there. Satanic powers, whatever worship, people want to go to the left to gain power. People want to go to Tanzania. People want to go to this and such and blah, blah, blah to get power, to come and misuse it. So what I'm saying is that power is not bad. There are all types of powers. But how you gain that power with an exception from demonic or satanic powers is not good at all. It's bad. So the 4 types of power that I've said, that the political or royal power, military power, this financial material power, Holy Spirit power is not bad. But there are principles which guide on how to get it. There are also laws and principles that governs how to use it for the benefit of Kenyans and the people under you, and generation, our generation and generation to come. So to finish on that, let me say this. What is wrong?
What is exactly wrong?
There is corruption in this nation. Things are wrong. But from what we are seeing now on the state of nation, there are three arms of the government. The executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. They are not coming out clear to fight these fights of corruption, to address it. Let us come open and fight it. And if you are part of it, and you are holding those offices, then you should fight it.
Now, what he's saying is very serious.
Yes.
But I want to remind everyone that David said in Psalms that
Yes.
God spoke once, but I heard twice. That all power belongs unto God.
Psalm 62:11.
So that scripture must be our guiding principle.
Yes.
So even when you are in power, you are only holding brief. The owner of the power, all power, is God.
Yes.
That is important.
Yes.
But please don't forget that these problems that we are getting were generated, manufactured and generated by the colonial system.
Yes.
That placed some people intentionally at a position of advantage over others. And therefore, when we got our independence, we did not all start at the same level. We started at different levels of understanding, different levels of being resourced. And therefore, from that point, we took off. And when we took off, then those who had access to the instruments of world creation, they went very quickly. Others were still asleep. So by the time they woke up, they found things had already been created and that everything was already shared. And therefore, what are we seeing today? When we went evolution, cartels became strengthened. The Kenya today has a problem of cartels. And these cartels are so powerful that they're even threatening the county governments. They threaten everyone.
Yes.
Because these cartels are connected to all sectors. They are cartels in the legislation. They are cartels in the judicial. They are cartels in the market. They are cartels everywhere.
Yes.
So what do we do now? When we have such strong cartels there, what we do is we agree as Kenyans that enough is enough. It's the time to destroy those cartels, to demolish them. How do we demolish them? By applying the rule of law.
Yes.
Without fear or favor.
Yes.
How do we do it now? By applying the rule of law to the letter without dragging in ethnic differences and tribal differences. The time has come for us to start looking at our leaders as individuals, but not as communities. Because when you look at it as communities, then even when they do a mistake, you cannot touch them, because by touching them, you are punishing the entire community. And this is why I'm saying, even when we are allocating job opportunities, the national government, the county government, please be careful not to punish communities because of 3 or 4 individuals that are leading that communities in the campaign time.
Bishop, just hold on my thoughts a bit. As we are continuing on with this discussion, I want us to talk about something about corruption. And you mentioned something very critical, the cartels. And before, actually, I want us also to talk, maybe discuss something about youth, especially unemployment. It's also they try. And also, we want to see where this the cartels we are talking about and how this constitutes to unemployment. But before we talk about that, I'll ask my director to play a clip there. Then we just want this was a demonstration. I think actually today I was in the streets, and let's see what happened in the streets of Nairobi today. This was Arambe Avenue. Yes, let's see.
Mtu wa NTV kesho mweke hii kwa front page ya gazeti. Utanunua zote. Tunataka hii message huru
using cartels to burn down the combines of fire that was caused by cartels so that they can allot those land pieces to those cartels themselves. Right now, people are not being allowed to build. Where does the government want us to go? Do they want us to kill ourselves or to start stealing right, left, and center so that they can kill us? Bunda amechoka. The government must have its priorities right.
Shida ambayo imetoka basi kwanza watu wa counterfeit wanaingia kwa maduka, wanapiga anashika kitu anasema kwamba, alafu akishaingia kwa duka anachukua mali yote ambayo iko kwa duka. Unakuta kwamba baadaye huyu mtu akuja kwambia ama kusomesha counterfeit, anakuja anachukua vitu zote. Akishachukua vitu zote anakuja anataka pesa, anakwambia anataka 100,000 ama 50,000 ama anaanza kukuruta ya kwamba atasipompa pesa atapeleka kotini. Sisi tunataka serikali kama ni lazima tujue counterfeit ni nini, watufunze tujue counterfeit ni nini. Jambo la pili, kama vitu lazima zishikwe China hatujui counterfeit, serikali ya Kenya ishikane na wale watu wa China tuwe tukiunda vitu ambazo ni standard ambazo serikali inataka. Si lazima kwanza hata sisi tushikwe, tukishashikwa atutuambie counterfeit ni nini. Wacha serikali tufunze counterfeit ni nini, alafu sasa tukishajua it will help us to know what is counterfeit so that we will be selling that what the government need to need us to sell. Asante sana.
Sawa. Tunaweza pata
So, welcome viewers. We are continuing on with this discussion right here. You've seen what has gone wrong. I think you guys were saying something is wrong. So you've seen what is wrong right then. So, Bishop, have you watched that clip?
Yes, I have seen it.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
Actually, if you are so keen on that clip, those are all youths.
Yes.
They are out in the streets complaining. Maybe government is like there's aspect of counterfeit goods and now the cartels and everything. Now, my question is, what is wrong? Still, what is wrong? We're discussing that. Still, what is wrong? What's the meaning of that clip?
When I looked at that clip, two things came into my mind. One, the policies that govern business in this country are not pro-poor policies. They are pro-rich policies. Because the people that you're seeing there, they only need some very little guidance and direction. And then the government needs to have systems that of verification of those goods at source, so that you do not incur all the cost And when the goods reach at your destination, then you are told they are orphaned. So the system should be, the policy should be developed that ensures the goods right from the source are actually acceptable. Because if the goods are going to be imported, for example, from China, and then a small businessman tries all he could, brings all those goods up to Mombasa, and it is at Mombasa that they are denied, then this person, we are made him more poor. So what I'm saying is, what has gone wrong is our policies are not sufficiently protecting the small business people. That's number one. Number two, I think Kenya, we need to develop our own local manufacturing industries. Some of the things that we are importing can very easily be manufactured in Kenya up to the right standards, if it were not for those wicked cartels. That will make everything shoddy. So we need now to begin to appraise and to accept and to appreciate the local initiatives that people are doing and create an enabling environment. You know, many of the investors that we talk about, when we talk about investment in opportunities in Kenya, we talk about an investment climate in Kenya. When we are doing policies to assist those investors, we do not most of the times have the local people as investors. We normally think of the external investors and therefore tailor our policies to enable them and facilitate them to come and do business in Kenya. It is a time that you also create enabling an environment for Kenyans living in Kenya to do business and to do it profitable.
So, Bishop,
Yes.
you watched that clip. What's the meaning of that? What can you check out?
Something is wrong in the system.
Terribly wrong.
And terribly wrong. Second thing is that there is a lot to be taught to Kenyan citizens. That demonstration is there, and it's our right as Kenyans according to the Constitution. But we should go further and be sensitized, either through the families, through the learning institutions, through the church, through the government itself, and through even the media and the corporate world. That people need to be taught, the youth that we have seen, that it is our right as Kenyans to exercise our supreme power, direct or indirect. So, combined on knowing there is something wrong in the system, Kenyans can correct it now or in the future, and we have the power. But who will tell you? This is it. Kenyans, when they realize there's something wrong, we should know that we have power given by the Constitution to fight, to exercise our power through the elected leaders or direct we as Kenyans to fight and to make sure that those people they are out. So to me, that's what's wrong.
I think the major issue here is the way we respond to citizen cries.
Yes.
People demonstrate not because they enjoy demonstrating. They demonstrate when they realize that their voices and their cries are not being heard.
Yes.
And if they are being heard, they're being ignored.
Yes.
So what we need to do is we need to encourage our elected representatives,
Yes.
to become more responsive,
Yes.
and the government to become responsive,
Yes.
to the cries of the common man.
Exactly.
Even our county governments, sometimes when they want to listen to the cry, there are two cries in the city, for example, Nairobi.
Yes.
You find that those people with big shops and a great business, central business area, they cry that the area becomes crowded when the hawkers come around and put their goods around there. They cry. And you see, the county government can hear the cry and they come to sweep out the hawkers. But the hawkers are also crying. We have nowhere to do business. So they should also have their cry also being addressed. So as we remove them from the central business area, let us also create another area for them, and they create a decent area, so that when they, in the process of trying to remove them from the central business, area, they don't incur losses. Most of them lose everything, and then they go there and they are gone with nothing. And this is where we go wrong. We need to be sensitive to every person's need. Every Kenyan citizen is entitled to a decent life, is entitled to a decent business environment, and therefore that decency requires reasoning together. And therefore I want to encourage the county governments to engage on long-term planning, so that you don't just plan for 5 years that you're going to be there. Plan something that can continue even after your exit. When outcomes continues, so that we can say by the year 2030, even the OCAS will be respected business community in Kenya. Today as they are, it is really pathetic sometimes when you see them running with their goods, carrying them on a back. And evening hours. So these people need to eat. These people there is no employment. They are trying to become self-employed. And then there is no environment that enables them to do that. So I'm saying what is wrong is that our planning system does not take into account the low-class citizens in terms of economic empowerment. And we need that to be brought on board and to be discussed and to be resolved. So that the same way we protect the big investors is the same manner that we protect and we enable the small scale business people. I think the negligence or the need and the cry of the small business people is what I have seen there.
So Bishop, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts
As we close.
is this: is to tell Kenyans and be sensitive that we have 6 levels that we can exercise our past powers in direct when things go wrong in the system. We have the MCAs, we have the members of parliament, we have the women representatives, we have our governors, we have the senators, we have the presidents. And then, if they don't address this when things are wrong in the system, either corruption or things go wrong, they have also power to exercise direction.
Bishop. Yes, I want to say this as we come to an end. Kenyans are not going to give up. Kenyans are going to make sure the country is cleaned up.
Yes.
And the country is going to function as a developed country as we move on.
Yes.
But we have one appeal we want to make is from the church pulpit and from all other religious organizations. And that is, it is high time Kenyans begin to practice and exercise tolerance. And if we have that tolerance, let us also allow the rule of law to guide and govern us. There's nothing else that can make us, live harmoniously. If we don't respect the rule of law, our judiciary, and we want to make an appeal to all our judicial, officers, please do your work as though you are doing it for God. When you do it on behalf of God and for God, then you do it right.
Yes.
And this is what's going to happen. And I'm sure we are going to get there soon or later. Me, I'm quite optimistic. I'm not pessimistic. I know this country is going to be on its feet, and I know things are going to be sorted out, and I know Kenya will remain a torchbearer in Africa. Amen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is where we wind up the show tonight. And remember, next week we are still continuing on writing. This is a show that is coming to you every week on Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. And just a little bit, just last week we promised you that we'll be going out maybe. Now we want to reach out for Kenyans. And like today we are back in the studio. Maybe next week we'll be going somewhere. I don't know when Bishop will invite me to go to his place.
I've already invited you on 13th.
On 13th.
On 13th of July.
13th of July.
Pipeline.
I'm right there.
An overnight meeting.
So we'll be discussing much things. Actually, I'll be having a number of youths from his side. I don't know when Bishop will invite me, but I'll organize. So still, remember the general will be coming back in the show. And we are organizing something so then we can reach out for Kenyans and actually just try to change that mindset, that negative perception, and also try to develop positive tribal ethnicity, because we are one Kenyan. After all, we have to live as brothers and sisters. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you, gentlemen, for coming to the show. Yes. You know, like today, I was a bit scared you might not. But eventually, I even came downstairs, so I thought I understood you are cheating, but it's okay.
Yeah.
You guys, you came on time. Yes. The only thing, I didn't receive your calls. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this next week. Till next week, I've been your host, Samson Ongara. Goodbye.
You are watching MTN Kenya, your #1 favorite TV station.
Love is the basic unit that unites a society.
Love makes the world go round, and love is the only thing that can make a community to survive.
So if you want to understand more about love, then come with us.
And that is why at Maskani we are tossing the coin around. Tunaventure deep down kwa slums na kwa area yako, kwa mtaa yako. Tunaangalia chini kwa chini hustle yako, struggle yako, na basically everything in life.
Tuingie tu chini kwa chini, we go up and down various business ideas and the people behind those ideas, looking at their environment and the solutions they are offering to prosper.
We will be telling it as it is. We'll be basically going into the streets, finding people with talents and abilities and how they use these talents and abilities to thrive.
Hapa Maskani ndo tunakuletea show ina engage na everybody from all backgrounds.
Yani hatubagui.
Basi to join kwa Maskani to check in various segments that we have kama biz feeds.
Yani hustle yako, heart, passion, streets,
and of course chit chat.
Uzito ni wa nani?
Njoo huku ukae vizuri. Sasa ndo tunaporudi kwenye maskari na utrafiki. Mavazi yako.
Unanichukuliaje? Mwanga wangu kodo wa macho. Unalo.
Mimi hapa mgaidi. Mimi nilikuwa navuta bangi ile kisha.
Kila siku tunaenda nyumbani kwa kutembea. Leo nataka twende kwa kurukaruka.
Sawa, wewe ruka tu mama, wewe.
Njoo, tunataka kula. Kunywa yote.
Uliniibia box yangu wiki mbili zilizopita, leo umejisahau, umekuja nayo tena. Mwenyewe nimeiona naitaka.
Na jela, afu jela kuna nyapala.
Up next, movies on MTN Kenya.
You are watching MTN Kenya, your #1 favorite TV station.
All the senior bishops who are here. You see, you could have moved. This is the one who we should the bishops are. Okay, these are the clergy, the main. Some KHE. These are all the clergies back there. There are some also busy. And that's on the other tent.
You are watching MTN Kenya, your #1 favorite TV station.
Kadri siku za kurudi kwake Yesu zinavyozidi kukaribia, ndivyo muovu shetani anavyozidi kuyumbisha na kutikisa dunia, huku akiwaingiza wengi ama maelfu ya watu katika ufalme wake. Jesus, God's own son. Lakini habari njema ni kuwa kama jinsi Mungu alivyomtumia Musa kuwaokoa watu wake kutoka kwa jeshi la maadui wao na hata kufungulia njia katika bahari kubwa ya Shamu mbele yao, ndivyo Mungu anavyowainua watumishi wake katika kizazi hiki ili kukabiliana na mbinu mpya za mwovu ibilisi za kuwakamata wanadamu. Je, ni hali gani ya maisha ambayo imekuwa kusumbua kwa muda mrefu? Laana, mikosi, magonjwa yasiyoeleweka, ukosefu wa kazi na uchawi miongoni mwa shida zingine za maisha. Sasa lipo tumaini katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Ndipo Mungu akamteua mtumishi wake katika kizazi hiki na kumpa fimbo ya Musa, Apostle Jeremiah Kioko wa Jesus is Coming Deliverance and Healing Ministry. Apostle Jeremiah Kioko wa Jesus is Coming Deliverance and Healing Ministry anawalika kwenye ibada maalum
ya Transfer Anointing Service tarehe 6 mwezi wa 5 hapa kanisani Mang Hotel Basement next to bus station. Kumbuka ibada hii kwa mada Stop them before they stop you. Simamisha maadui zako kabla hawajakusimamisha. Ni tarehe 6 mwezi wa 5 mwaka 2018 hapa kanisani kwetu. Njoo nawe utabarikiwa.
Njoo ukutane na nguvu za Mungu kupitia kwa mtumishi wake aliyemteua Apostle Jeremiah